everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josie with Awakened Soul, and we are here for a reading about the person on your mind. Whoever came to mind when this reading found you and you felt drawn to it and called to click on it. This is a timeless reading, and it's also intended for all zodiac signs, so I trust that it found whoever it was meant to find when it was meant to find you. So we're going to get started by getting a glimpse into your person's shoes, I guess you could say, or put ourselves in your person's shoes. I'm going to pull a couple of archetypes to see how your person is viewing you and how they're also viewing themselves when it comes to this connection. And then after that, we'll dive into the tarot to see what they're thinking and feeling about you in greater detail. So let's get to it, you guys. I do ask that if you find yourself resonating with this reading, you hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. We would love to have you join the Awakened Soul family. I'm going to get started by pulling your archetype, both a shadow and a light archetype for you, and then the same goes for your person. Sorry guys, I got distracted. I'm trying to straighten the cards up. Okay, so we have your light attribute out. What about your shadow attribute? That's funny because we got an exercise card. So maybe your person's not focusing on your shadows right now. I'm honoring that card as it came out. And then how about this person? Okay. And then no joke, you guys, I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 of these in this entire super fat deck, and we got 2. So your person's definitely not focusing on the shadows right now. They're focusing on the positives, and I'm going to honor that. I'm not going to force cards to come out if they don't want to. So we have 2 light messages out for you, and I'm going to pick this one up right now. Okay. All right. So your light attribute your person is seeing and picking up on is the Messiah, serving humanity with humility. So I'm certainly not saying that your person views you as a messiah or savior, okay? But maybe they view you as a natural humanitarian. You could be very kind by nature, 222 up there on the timer. Maybe you're just naturally very kind and giving and loving, and something about your energy is very pure from this person's perspective. That could be one reason why they're not picking up on shadows from you. And that's not to say you are perfect. Nobody is perfect. And I think your person is aware that at the end of the day, you are human and you have flaws. But I think that your person prefers to just focus on your positive qualities in general. They feel like you are just such a giving, beautiful soul. And I think that's one thing they really love and respect about you. Now, when it comes to how they're viewing themselves, their light attribute is the sort of child magical category. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. And I think that that is very lovely. Your person is definitely focused on the positive side of life right now. Again, that's not to say they never have any negative thoughts or feelings. They're human. But at least right now, in general, their primary focus is on the beauty all around them. And I think in a lot of ways, you've inspired that way of thinking because of the energy you give off. You give off this almost pure and positive and peaceful, very healing and loving energy. And maybe your person never saw that side of people before meeting you, and now they're focused on seeing it everywhere they go. Or it could just be your person's personality. They just in general are very optimistic, and they have a tendency to see the beauty and magic everywhere they go. So, okay. Which would also make sense, by the way, given the fact that they're not focused on shadows here. They're focused on the positive things only, okay? I do feel like sometimes there can be almost a toxic level of optimism, only if you're dismissing red flags. So I don't know if that sounds like your person or not, if they tend to dismiss red flags and only focus on good things. But at least right now, it seems like in general, they don't really want to think about the bad stuff. They want to think about all the positive they see in you and themselves and other people. So let's get some more cards out. This person's thoughts and feelings about you. And we have 2 cards that came out together last that is very interesting. It's a side message, and I'll get to that. Okay, the first card we had up was the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the Page of Wands and the Ace of Cups. And I think that this message is talking about your person feeling like they really lucked out and hit the lotto here by meeting you. Maybe they've made a lot of turnarounds or progress in their life since they met you, or in general, they just feel very fortunate to have a person like you in their life. If you are not with this person right now, if this is somebody you just met or you haven't made things formal with romantically, I definitely see them wanting to extend an offer to you to begin a new romance. If you are with this person and this is somebody you are currently seeing and you have some sort of exclusivity established, I feel like this is them initiating, moving things on to the next chapter. So that could be in the form of, offering to make it exclusive officially, or, moving in together, or taking a first trip together, or whatever the next phase of the connection would be, because the Ace of Cups basically talks about a new romantic beginning. And if it's not a new relationship, it's a new chapter of this relationship they're thinking about initiating, okay? Now, this is interesting because we had the Page of Pentacles come out with the Seven of Swords. And typically, the Seven of Swords can talk about secrets or lies or manipulation, but because it came out very clearly paired with the Page of Pentacles, I think this is a surprise. I don't think it's a heavy secret. If it's a secret at all, it's your person hiding like a present or a surprise or a gift or an offering. And since we've already been talking about taking things up a notch and taking things to the next level with what they've been thinking about, I feel like it's going to take you by surprise. They might do it in some kind of romantic way, or you might not see this coming, or they could just have in general a really fun surprise in the works for you. And I think you're going to be excited about that. So it's not like a bad secret, I guess you could say. The secretive part of this is more like a surprise that I think you'll be excited about. So very nice. I love to see it. Let's pull a few cards on what's coming next for this connection. So, spiritual team, what can we expect to happen next in this connection, please? What is coming next for this connection? Next big event or change or moment. We have the Seven of Wands. There might be more motivation coming in for success here for both of you, or overcoming some kind of difficulty or challenge together as a team, okay? We also have the Five of Swords and the Magician, okay? Be careful not to get too carried away, they're saying, all right? It's normal to get excited, and I think both you and your person are very excited, but make sure you're not doing anything that's going to sabotage yourselves or your future in the process, like get way too carried away. They just said, watch your money. The example they're giving me is like if this is a newer relationship or something, you might get excited and want to go on a bunch of dates or go on, nice trips or something like that, but to not like spend yourself into the hole doing it because you're excited. So they're saying it's a good thing. What's coming next is exciting. You're feeling like ready to go, moving past obstacles, but make sure you're not sabotaging yourself or your future in the process, okay? Just keep a watchful eye to make sure you're not getting too carried away, that you stay grounded, okay? Now, we also have the Eight of Pentacles, self-development, self-improvement for both of you, and I feel like this connection is also going to continue to grow over time, all right? Again, they're like warning you, don't get carried away. And also they're saying it's going to be magical. Like I think this connection moving forward is going to feel very magical in a lot of ways. And that's why some of you are going to get carried away and get very excited. But remember, there are going to be days where there's a lull. It's not going to be like one exciting adventure after another. There are going to be days where you're just kind of hanging out and watching TV, and that's okay, and that's normal. Don't feel like there's something wrong because you're not always going on exciting adventures with each other. It's totally normal. It's a part of every connection and relationship to go through some boredom. It's a normal phase. So don't sabotage yourself by feeling like you always need to be going through these exciting moments. There's going to be days where you're just hanging out watching TV or something equivalent to that, and that is a-okay. All right. Okay, so let's get you out a message from universe now before I close your reading out. I invite you to focus on recentering your energy towards yourself and bringing the focus back on you again. I like to close my readings in this way. This message is meant to be just for you. Okay. And by the way, if you've made it this far into the reading, drop a raccoon emoji down below. It says badger, but it's very obviously a raccoon in this card. So I don't know, I always think that's funny when it comes out. You got the badger with endurance. Whatever you seek, your tenacity and faith will be paying off. Know that no matter what the temporary outer conditions, you will manifest your desires in divine timing and in the form that is best for you. And that is very true. Sometimes things don't go according to plan, but what God and the universe have planned for us is even better than we originally imagined. That's personally why I believe faith is so important. Faith in God, faith in divine timing, and faith in the divine. Because sometimes things are being orchestrated on our behalf, and we can't see all of the puzzle pieces like the divine can. They have an aerial perspective of things. Sometimes we can't even see things yet because we haven't become the person we need to be to receive them. Okay. And the affirmation of the day, I invite you to affirm this with me. You can comment it down below to do so. It is, today I live in the present. Today I will start with a smile. I am in control of my attitude. Lovely. I am going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for joining and have yourself a blessed rest of your day or night. Bye for now.